a quick and short review, The Women by Kristin Hanna. So, um, this is not my first Kristin Hanna book, and I've read several of her novels before, with Winter Garden on the top, so I still regret giving that away, and the book not being on my bookshop. So anyway, The Women by Kristin Hanna. So we follow Frankie Frances McGrath. So she is a nurse in Vietnam. So prior to that war, prior to um, to Frankie being deployed to Vietnam, she lived with her parents. So she's described as the way her life is described is she is upper upper class, upper middle class, and she has a brother whom she has a close relationship with, named Flynn. Um, so one of the reasons she wanted to go to war was because of her brother and because of the wall of heroes. So her father has a wall of heroes. So um, it has the photos, mementos, trophies, certificates, pictures of every man who joined the war from World War One, World War Two. So Frankie is motivated by that simple um, act. So she wanted her name on the wall of heroes. She also looks up to her brother who is serving in the war. So those are her motivation at the start of the novel. So I'm not going to spoil anything. So she was deployed and she finally served in. So she's finally in Vietnam and serving as a nurse. So we can follow her growth. So from being an inexperienced nurse, working her way to the top, being someone that everyone look up, and being good at her skills as a nurse. So this is during the war. So our main character, there's a sense of she is not safe in that place, and anytime her life could be in danger, especially with those people around her. So that's the tone, that's the feel, that's the vibe of the story. So um, after that, after the Vietnam War, I kind of expected the book will almost end when her time in Vietnam was over, but this is a long book, so it takes I think multiple years. So we see our main character really develop and change throughout the story. So after Vietnam, she went home. So she went back to the United States. So she was shocked that the Vietnam um, the Vietnam soldiers, those who serve in Vietnam, everyone looks down on them. So people hated the soldiers who served in Vietnam. So anyone who served in so the reason that that the soldiers and anyone who served in Vietnam are hated by the American people is because it is believed that they are killing innocent Vietnamese children and women in Vietnam. So they are not welcome. So they returned with antagonism and bad experience. So just like imagine serving in a war, doing it for your country, and when you return, your country hates you. So that's the tone. She also has to deal with her parents, and one of the important theme here is from the title itself is the women. So uh, uh, Frances and along with her female nurses, they encounter a lot of discrimination. So on the next part, the second half of the book, will focus on how Frances deal with the war. So the consequence, the effect of that, the PTSD. So just trauma, how she is going to deal with it, and how she is going back to the society and navigate with her daily life. So that's how the second half of the book follows. And I like the first half where she served in Vietnam, and I feel like the second half is a little stretch, and it could be um, some chapters can be cut. So that's just how I felt. I felt like the second half is a little drag. Also, the relationship, the that so my criticisms, the relationships that Frances had in the book, it is kind of predictable. So she has an affair, so I'm not going to reveal anything. So she has an affair with someone, and then the background of this guy that she's seeing is um, is predictable. So you kind of know as a reader, you sense that he is lying. Anyway, it is kind of predictable. And another my criticism is so two um, two soldiers, they it is hinted that they die, but by the end of the book, we see them that they are alive. So I don't like how um, how it is executed. I think the first one is okay. So everyone thought he's dead. The audience, I know he's dead, and then later on, it turns out that he is alive. So that is kind of it is okay, but Kristin Hanna did it the second time on the last chapter. She did it again, and I kind of you lose that momentum. I mean, you grieve for someone, so you as an audience, you grieve for their death. So there is a shock value to it, and then at the end of the story, you are going to learn that, well, they are alive, they made it. So you kind of lose that momentum, and you felt tricked. So that's how I felt. But nevertheless, this is a great book. I enjoy it. And again, the soul and the main theme about this is the women. Okay, um, um, when Frances returned from Vietnam, her family did not acknowledge her. So I mentioned earlier about the wall of heroes. So the father has the photos of every family member who served in the war, but all of them are men. Okay, there were no women. So the father, he faces, he does not like that his daughter served in the war. And then there were many, the common statement coming from other characters is that there are no women in Vietnam. So Frances was excluded, was pushed back. So she was looking for a therapy group, and they only accept veterans. But Frances, our main character, was not accepted because of her gender. So that's how the story goes. So the women, so it is emphasized. So I feel like that's the soul of the book. So to put up the effort the women made during Vietnam war. Again, this is a historical fiction set in during Vietnam War. Um, the tone, it has war, but the I've read different war stories, so it focuses more on the after the war rather than the war itself. Again, this is good, but I enjoy it. But this may be at the my least like Kristin Hanna book. But again, I like it. So out of 10, I will give this a 7. So I will, if you are looking for historical fiction that is a little different, that talks about the Vietnam War and its unique theme, then pick up this book, The Women. So again, I thoroughly enjoy it, and some of the storyline I kind of expected because I've read previous stories from Kristin Hanna, so I kind of know the style. So that's it.